My younger brother Jacob wanted me to co-sign his $5 million business loan. Just sign your name. No need to pay anything back, he said casually. I grabbed the pen without hesitation as Jacob leaned back confidently on the couch, then froze mid-signature. With trembling hands, I ripped the contract in half. I can't do this, I whispered. Jacob's eyes bulged in shock. He didn't know I'd just relived our entire tragedy, the bankruptcy. The loan shark spray painting threats on our walls. The skinned animal carcasses mailed to our home. In my previous life, I'd blindly signed this death warrant. The collectors had terrorized my daughter Sophie with photoshopped nudes until she attempted suicide. My husband Lucas worked himself to death driving nights after coding all day. When I confronted Jacob's ex-wife Lucy about their hidden assets and Emily's college fund, my own niece sneered, "You chose to co-sign. Auntie. Adults face consequences." Now staring at the duplicate contract Jacob produced from his briefcase, I remembered plunging into traffic after they'd drained my life savings. This time, I shoved the papers back. Call your precious Emily. Let your daughter co-sign your schemes. The room erupted as Jacob's confident mask cracked. But family helps family, he sputtered. I smiled coldly, savoring the panic flashing across Lucy's face. They didn't realize this phoenix rose from ashes with compound interest. The preparations were thorough, which made sense. $500,000 was no small amount. Lucy watched me nervously from the side while Sophie sat quietly in the distance, her lips parting as if to speak. What should have been a regular weekend family dinner at my mother's house with the Fosters had turned into an elaborately staged trap. By now, Jacob had already divorced Lucy and transferred the property deeds to Emily. The entire family knew, all three of them. I suppressed the urge to slap that smug look off Jacob's face, pointing instead at the joint liability clause in the contract. Do you understand what this means? My finger jabbed at the unlimited liability section. And this? Care to explain? Jacob's jaw dropped, his expression mirroring someone who'd just seen his pet goldfish solve calculus. Clearly, he hadn't expected his supposedly dim-witted older sister to suddenly develop legal acumen. Little did he know I'd studied these very documents like scripture in my past life, memorizing every treacherous comma. Honestly, sis, I didn't really read it, Jacob stammered, sweat beading on his forehead. Mr. Anderson drafted this. You think he'd screw me over? I'll go chew him out later. His forced chuckle died in his throat. But damn, you caught that fast. I shoved the papers back at him. Find another guarantor. This isn't happening. Emily suddenly materialized at my elbow, her sticky, sweet voice dripping honey. Auntie, please sign. Daddy says once his business takes off, he'll pay for my study abroad. Then you won't have to sponsor me anymore. I peeled her fingers off my arm. When did I ever agree to that? Her smile faltered. Last Christmas. You promised $10,000 if I made top 20 in class. Not that grades matter, right? She shot a triumphant glance at Sophie cowering in the corner. You'll help anyway because you love me best. My chest constricted seeing Sophie shrink into herself. I'd been blind before, pampering Emily with jewelry and gadgets while neglecting my own daughter. At family gatherings, I'd praised Emily's mediocre report cards while dismissing Sophie's straight A's. No wonder my child had grown distant. Let's get real, I scoffed. You're barely scraping through community college. No amount of overseas polish will fix that. My money's going to Sophie. Her teachers say she's Harvard/MIT material. Ask your own parents for cash. Emily's lower lip trembled theatrically. But it was Sophie's reaction that mattered, her head snapping up, eyes kindling with fragile hope. Lucy slammed her teacup down. Who needs your charity? If we get that loan, we'll multiply it tenfold. Brave words, I retorted. Return the iPhone 13 I bought Emily last month then. And the MacBook. Oh. And those $700 holiday red envelopes from the past 5 years. Emily clutched her phone like a lifeline as Lucy discreetly hid her outdated model under the table. The room fell silent until my mother's cane thumped the floor. I never thought you'd refuse your own brother. She spat. When I started explaining financial risks, she cut me off. Enough. I'll sign myself. My blood ran cold. Mom's retirement fund and 2 properties, everything she owned, would be collateral. Please reconsider. What's there to think? She scrawled her name with arthritic flourish, stamping the thumbprint like sealing a death warrant. My boy would never hurt me. Unlike some people. Her glare could have frozen magma. And don't think you're off the hook for Emily's study fund next year. As for Sophie, she sniffed. She'll marry out of the Peterson family anyway. Why waste resources? The words struck like ice water. For a second, I'd almost reverted to my old self, the people-pleasing doormat. Smiling sweetly, I pushed the contract toward her. Don't forget the thumbprint. Mom. The crimson seal bloomed like a bloodstain on the page. Some lessons, it seemed, had to be learned the hard way, repeatedly. But not this time. This time, I'd protect what truly mattered. Jacob tried to intervene, but it was too late. I took Sophie's hand. Sophie. Let's go home. I'll never bring you here again. Sophie seemed hesitant about my sudden affection. But I firmly grasped her fingers. She paused, then squeezed back before lowering her head with a faint smile. This time, I vowed silently, I'll protect you properly. No more suffering. Emily, who'd been lingering nearby, suddenly grabbed my other hand with teary eyes. Auntie. What's wrong? Grandma always says we Fosters should stick together. Remembering her past betrayal, I yanked my hand away. Don't be ridiculous. Sophie's my flesh and blood. You think sweet talk will make me fund your abroad studies? Forget getting another dime from me. Her face flushed crimson. You'll regret this. When Dad makes it big and we get our mansion. Don't come crawling back. I snorted. Can't wait to see your mansion. Dragging Sophie away. I didn't look back. Lucas arrived home dust-streaked, clutching his decade-old laptop. The collar of his leather jacket frayed. Overcome, I threw myself at him. I missed you so much. My tears soaked his shirt as he patted my back awkwardly, exchanging confused glances with Sophie. Noticing his computer, I scolded. No more overtime. You'll work yourself to death. My heart ached seeing his new silver hairs. At 42, the diligent programmer remained stuck in entry-level positions, terrified to quit despite burnout. How I loathed my past self for draining our savings on relatives until I tossed his laptop aside. We're celebrating tonight. Dinner out and shopping spree. At the mall. I splurged recklessly, designer shirts for Lucas, the DSLR camera and MacBook Sophie coveted. After graduation, we'll tour Europe. Spain's gaudy architecture. Whatever you want. Lucas gaped. Since when did my penny-pinching wife turn lavish? I was wrong before. I confessed. Never again. He blinked, then dragged me into a gaming store, chuckling at my bewilderment. Our company's developing something similar. The demo screen showed a warrior battling monsters. Suddenly, I remembered next year's global sensation Dragon Boy started as 3 broke developers begging for $15,000 investments. My pulse raced. Honey, we're funding this game. That night, I cornered Lucas in our bedroom. I'm from the future. This game will make millions. He touched my forehead. Did shopping fever break your brain? Days later, we met the scruffy trio. Ryan, their leader, demoed Dragon Boy's prototype. Lucas' eyes lit up during gameplay. The combat mechanics, he turned to me. Awestruck. How did you know? I just smiled. The real game had only just begun. The 3 of them looked stunned. Clearly not accustomed to such straightforward transactions. They kept thanking us profusely. I noticed Ryan's eyes turning red. Little did they know. In 1 year's time, Dragon Teen would become a sales phenomenon, propelling these 3 to become gaming industry pioneers and youth icons, household names across the nation. As for Lucas and me, we'd achieved effortless success without breaking a sweat. Life was good. Both Lucas and I already had decent incomes. But without debt collectors hounding us or relatives constantly demanding handouts, our financial situation became downright comfortable. In our previous life, when Sophie's school announced that $7,000 overseas study program, I'd hesitated too long and missed the deadline. Nearly half her class had gone, leaving her depressed for weeks. This time, I started asking days in advance. Sweetheart, when's the payment deadline for that exchange program? We're signing you up. Sophie looked puzzled initially, but days later burst into excitement. Mom, how did you know they'd reopen applications? I winked mysteriously, because I've lived through this before. Mom knows everything. To my surprise, Sophie nodded solemnly. I knew it. I totally called this. Emily, being in Sophie's class, threw a tantrum upon hearing the news. That afternoon when I arrived slightly late for pickup, the campus stood nearly empty. Hearing familiar sobs around the corner, I discovered Emily and Lucy arguing by the bike racks. I don't care. Sophie's going. I have to go too. Emily stamped her foot, tear-streaked face glaring at her mother. Lucy tried reasoning. Honey, all our liquidity's tied up in your father's new venture. This isn't the time for. She's always been second-rate. Emily wailed. Since when does she get things I can't? Lucy's voice turned bitter. Blame your aunt. Ever since that last incident, she trailed off as my footsteps crunched on gravel. Oh. Fancy meeting here. I feigned surprise. Everything all right? Emily glared daggers, remembering our last confrontation. I pressed on cheerfully. Is this about the study program? Emily dear, you should understand. Who says we can't afford it? Lucy shrilled, face flushing crimson. $5,000 is pocket change. Unlike some people, she yanked Emily toward their SUV. Must be nice having time to loiter around. Oh wait, you walk everywhere. Tires screeched as they sped off. That hit a nerve. Sophie emerged, adjusting her backpack. Mom, did Aunt Lucy forget we live 2 blocks away? I chuckled, changing the subject. Don't forget your DSLR. Capture every moment. My heart ached remembering the previous timeline, Emily flaunting vacation photos while Sophie pretended not to care. Not this time. Though ironically, Sophie's texts revealed Emily spent the entire trip bedridden with food poisoning, barely leaving her hotel. When Sophie returned, she proudly showed us her masterpiece, a stark tree silhouetted against Arctic dawn, its bare branches haloed by rising sun rays. The image stole my breath. Mom? You're crying too? Sophie hugged me. I felt exactly that way when I pressed the shutter. Outstanding work. Lucas beamed. We're framing this masterpiece. On impulse, I entered it in an international photography contest. Meanwhile, Dragon Teen exploded in popularity, its sleek gameplay conquering app stores. Office workers and stay-at-home moms alike became devotees. Ryan's name trended daily. The new tech world darling. We kept in touch, him always mentioning how our timely support changed everything. He said he was on the verge of giving up back then when he couldn't secure funding, and that our couple $100,000 investment saved him to complete the final stages. Now he's made it big. He brings this up every damn phone call, making me squirm with guilt. By year-end, Dragon Youth won international gaming awards. Ryan went to accept the trophy as the studio rep, inviting us to join. Lucas and I immediately declined. The game's blowing up globally beyond our wildest dreams. Our 8-figure royalty cut? We're pinching ourselves daily. This windfall's parked in the bank while we keep living our regular lives. During New Year's, Jacob treated the family to Pin High Grand Restaurant. He'd upgraded to an Audi, same old song and dance as before. Little do they know, his business partner will vanish with his $5 million soon. Not my circus anymore. We arrived late through the snowstorm, frost clinging to our coats. Lucy smirked at our entrance. Should have bought that used car. Even a $20,000 beater beats freezing your ass off. She preened. Our new Audi A8's smoother than butter. Can't even ride buses anymore, peasant transport. We don't drive. I shrugged, guiding Sophie to sit. The subway works fine. Excuses, Lucy muttered, fiddling with her new mink collar. At the head of the table, Grandma Foster stayed silent, watching Emily done up like Elsa with her blue gown dab imaginary crumbs after each bite. When Jacob gave his toast about buying a mansion next year, I shoveled fried rice, grateful he omitted mentioning us. After dinner, Jacob started pitching Grandma Foster to invest her retirement fund. That's when Lucy and Emily booted up Dragon Youth on their diamond-encrusted phones. VIP level 30 here, Lucy bragged. $500 in microtransactions. You peasants wouldn't get it. Emily giggled, don't let Auntie waste money. Us whales need free players as cannon fodder. Lucas mumbled through beer foam, skill matters too. Top players don't pay. Rich people don't grind. Lucy snapped, flashing another $100 purchase. When Lucas left his phone, the screen lit up with First National Bank. Jacob answered on speaker before I could stop him, expecting debt collectors. Instead, the manager's booming voice filled the room. Mr. Peterson, as our valued multi-million-dollar client, we'd be honored to host your family at our all-expenses-paid yacht party in Hawaii. I grabbed the phone, we'll pass. The silence could have frozen lava. Jacob's eyelid twitched. Multi-million? Hawaii? You declined? Grandma Foster dropped her teacup. Where did you get that money? Lucas walked back into the electric stillness. Did I miss something? I glared at his forgotten phone. This damn windfall just became public knowledge. Oh. I invested in a small project earlier and got lucky with some returns, I said calmly. I didn't steal or rob anyone. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. What kind of project makes tens of millions? You must have done something illegal. Lucy's face twisted like she'd bitten into a lemon. Mom would never do that. Our family's money is clean, Sophie protested, her cheeks flushing. Emily's perfectly styled hair started coming undone as she glared at Sophie, eyes blazing. Impossible. How could your family suddenly be rich? Your mom's definitely involved in shady business. The usually gentle Sophie shot up like a spring, hurling her glass at Emily. You're the shady one. You blood-sucking leeches only know how to mooch off my mom. The tumbler struck Emily's forehead, leaving a crescent-shaped welt between her eyebrows. Hairpins clattered to the floor as both women lunged at each other, shrieking. Lucas and I barely managed to pull them apart while Jacob looked on grimly. Seriously, sis? Jacob finally asked. What exactly did you invest in? Before I could answer, Ryan's video call lit up my phone. The entire Foster clan craned their necks as I answered, revealing Ryan surrounded by foreign developers at an awards gala. Ms. Peterson, we just won gold for Dragon Youth. Wish you and Lucas were here to celebrate. His boyish grin froze when he noticed the chaotic scene behind me. Emily and Lucy practically climbed over each other to peer at the screen. Dragon Youth? The game? None of this would have happened without your early support. Ryan continued earnestly. You helped put Chinese indie games on the map. I squirmed at the praise. Truth was, I'd only wanted quick cash back then. Is that Ryan Carter? The actual Ryan Carter? Lucy's manicured finger stabbed at my phone. Wait, let me check. She frantically refreshed social media until the hashtag Ryan Carter wins international award topped trending. 18 glossy photos showed the young developer in a tailored suit, holding his trophy under stadium lights. Emily started hyperventilating. He's so hot. Auntie, introduce me. She shoved her disheveled bangs from her face, unaware of the mascara smeared across her cheekbones. Ryan's smile faltered at the shrieking before I hastily ended the call. So Dragon Youth was your investment. Jacob's voice shook. The highest-grossing mobile game this year. And you're buddies with Ryan Carter. Lucy's envy curdled into horrified realization. I spent $8,000 on in-game purchases last month. That money went to you? While Lucy clawed at her highlighted strands, Jacob adopted his pitiful puppy dog look. Sis. I raised a palm like a traffic cop. Don't sis me. Sophie's college fund stays untouched. My mother started her usual lecture about family obligations. But I cut her off. My money. My rules. End of discussion. 3 months. That's how long until Jacob's can't-fail crypto scheme imploded last timeline. This time, I'd be sipping margaritas in Bora Bora when it happened. We moved to a gated community the following week. Lucas chuckled about me being paranoid, unaware I'd already lived through the tsunami of relatives' loan requests. Sophie buried herself in SAT prep, determined to get into Stanford without insider tips. If you tell me the essay prompts, it's cheating, she'd insisted. My chest swelled with pride watching her grind. Meanwhile, Emily barely attended senior year classes. Certain daddy's money would buy her into some European finishing school. The fateful date crept closer until mom's midnight call shattered the calm. It's over. Jacob's bankrupt. I already knew the script. $5 million vanished. The new Mercedes repossessed. Another $500,000 in interest payments due. Last time, I'd mortgaged our home to bail them out. This time, I muted mom's wails and texted Sophie, pack your swimsuits. Bali at dawn. Mom? What's wrong? Jacob. Jacob lost all his money. My entire life savings, 200,000 yuan, gone. Oh God. My mother sounded devastated. It turned out Jacob had later convinced her to lend him her retirement fund, which was now completely wiped out. I never knew she had that much money. In my previous life, when I begged her for help during the leaked nude photos scandal that nearly drove Sophie to suicide, she'd claimed poverty. The memory still stung. Coldly, I replied, the Fosters still own 2 properties. Selling those should cover the debt. But Lucas, she pressed, you've been doing so well lately. I hung up and blocked her number. Not a single penny from me. Jacob's debts were guaranteed by her. Not me. When persistent calls came from unknown numbers, I changed my decade-old phone number. My stance was clear, no financial rescue. Helping family is a choice, not an obligation. And they'd burned all goodwill. Taking extended leave, I focused entirely on supporting Sophie through her college entrance exams. Her mock test scores placed her squarely in Harvard/MIT territory. On exam day, I spotted Emily and Lucy at the school gates. Unlike confident Sophie, Emily had to be dragged in by Lucy. You'll take this test even if you fail. Lucy hissed. I haven't studied. You promised me study abroad. Emily wailed. Lucy snapped. We sold our homes. We're drowning in debt. No more American yachts or white boys. Their public meltdown drew stares until I slipped away. This timeline differed, with Mom as cosigner. Jacob couldn't flee. When I refused help, he tried selling Emily's property. Lucy objected violently, slashing Jacob's shoulder with a kitchen knife during their fight. Emily fainted upon finding them bloodied. The Fosters sold both homes to settle debts, downgrading to a $200 8-month shack in the urban village. Jacob's tendon injury required expensive surgery, leaving him unable to work. Lucy refused employment, forcing Mom to subsidize them with her pension. Emily, having skipped senior year dreaming of Miami nightlife, blanked during exams and walked out. After results confirmed failure, she vanished, leaving a scathing letter. Lucy soon abandoned Jacob entirely. When results came, Sophie scored 705, securing Harvard's photography program. Days later, her competition entry won a prestigious international gold medal, attracting media attention. Tears streamed down my face as she shared the news. This vibrant girl with limitless potential, I'd almost destroyed her life with my past mistakes. Lucas wiped my tears. Why cry? I had a loving husband and an extraordinary daughter. This was enough.